My own family threw me out on the streets at just 16. I fought to survive alone now. 30 years later, they came back, begging for my forgiveness, but can I ever forgive them? When David Miller was only 12 years old, his mother passed away from breast cancer, and that left him with only his father, Robert Miller. They lived in New York and tried to survive the pain together. 2 years later, Robert married again and brought into the house a new stepmother, Karen, a stepbrother, Brian, who was 14, and a stepsister, Sophie, who was 12. At first, everything seemed fine, but David and Brian never got along. They argued, fought, and competed over everything. When David turned 15, he started seeing a girl from school named Jessica. Brian had also liked her, and his jealousy only grew. 1 year later, something happened that changed David's life forever. Karen claimed she found Sophie's clothes in David's drawer. Brian quickly lied and said David had been staring at Sophie and even wished to marry her. Jessica slapped David and walked away, calling him disgusting. Robert exploded with anger and threw David out of the house, telling him never to return. At just 16 years old, David was on the streets of New York with nothing to his name. He begged for help, but no one listened. He survived 2 years in the cold and dark and did things no child should ever have to do. At 18, he found a job in a boxing gym and slowly began to rebuild his life. The sport helped him control his rage and pain. Years later, while living in Texas, he met a young woman named Emily. She became his wife, his partner, his strength. Together, they built a family with 4 beautiful daughters. David studied hard, passed his exams, and became a licensed electrician. His life was finally full of love and stability. 30 years after that night of betrayal, David, who was now 53, received an unexpected email. It was from Sophie. She wrote that the truth had finally come out during a night of heavy drinking. Brian had bragged to his friends that he set David up just to take Jessica for himself. Jessica, who was present, heard it all and admitted the truth to Sophie. Sophie spent an entire weekend searching for David until she found his email and sent her apology. Now David is left with a choice. He has no hate left in his heart. He has a wife who saved him, children who adore him, and in-laws who treat him like family. But the family that abandoned him at 16 wants to return into his life. Do they deserve forgiveness after 30 years, or should David finally close the door forever? When the email arrived, I left it unanswered for days. Every time I opened my phone, it felt like the words were staring back at me, waiting for a response. My wife kept telling me to at least send something back, but deep inside I was torn between anger and curiosity. One night I finally decided to write a single line to Sophie. You all buried me 30 years ago and I stayed dead to you. But just as I was about to hit send, another email appeared from an unknown address. I opened it and found only one chilling sentence. David, you still don't know the full truth about what happened that night. My hands froze on the keyboard. What truth could possibly remain after all these years? Had I been wrong about everything, or was there a secret darker than I ever imagined? I kept staring at the screen, the words burning in my mind. For 30 years, I thought I knew why my life was destroyed. For 30 years, I carried the weight of betrayal from my own family. But now someone was telling me the real truth was still hidden. I didn't reply to Sophie. I didn't reply to the unknown sender. I closed the laptop and sat in silence while my wife slept peacefully beside me. Maybe the real truth will never come out. Maybe the past is better left buried. Or maybe one day the truth itself will come knocking on my door. But one question will always remain with me: was the life I built truly my choice, or the result of a lie I was never meant to uncover? If this story touched your heart and left you in suspense, make sure to subscribe now for more true stories that will shake your soul.